Multi-product CVP analysis means what? Multi-product CVP analysis means a company is producing two or more products. Two or more products. And it is difficult to calculate break-even point units for each product. Why? Because fixed costs are common. Companies paying fixed cost for both the products or more than two products. So that's why in the multi-product CVP analysis, we usually calculate break-even point revenue first. So I will continue with the example because we have already discussed all the formulas. Formulas are almost same for the multi-product CVP analysis and for single product. But definitely methods to calculate break-even point is significantly different. In fact, in this multi-product CVP analysis, it is very complicated to calculate break-even point revenue. So I am going to start with a data or with an example or step number one. Step number one is what? Step number one is to calculate the total sales revenue. Suppose I assume that there are three products A, B, C. I am selling 10,000 units of A and the selling price of A is $20. So it is $200,000. Sorry, it is 2 million. For B, my demand is 13,000 and my selling price is suppose 18. So if I multiply 18 with the 13,000, it is 2,340,000. Suppose third product is C, which has a demand of 17,000 and its selling price is 15. So its sum is it is 200,000, it is 234,000 and its sum is 255,000. So in step number one, add all these revenues and calculate the total sales revenue. Total sales revenue is 689,000. Step 2 is what? Step 2 is total contribution. A, B, C. We assume that total contribution for A is like $8. 12 is the variable cost, so the contribution per unit is 8 into 10,000. 80,000 is the total contribution of A. Suppose for B, 18 minus 8 is variable cost. So 10 is the contribution per unit into 13,000, 130,000. 17,000 into what? Into 15 minus 8. Suppose variable cost is 8. It is 119,000 plus 130,000 plus 80,000. So the total contribution is $329,000. Third step is CS ratio is equal to total contribution 329,000 divided by 689,000. Let me correct this. 329,000 divided by 689,000 into 100. Whenever you are required to calculate a value in percentage terms, always multiply it with the 100. So 329,000 divided by 689,000, your CS ratio is 47.75%. Now we will calculate what? We will calculate break-even point revenue. It is the break-even point revenue of the company. Suppose we assume that fixed cost is $150,000 and it is divided by CS ratio, which we studied a few minutes ago. This is the formula of the break-even point revenue, where 150,000 is divided by what? 150,000 is divided by, so we have what? We have 314,138. This is the break-even point revenue. It means 314,138 is necessary to sell. Now I want to calculate break-even point revenue for each product. Break-even point revenue for each product by using sales proportion, sales units proportion. So what is the sales units proportion? Three products we have, A, B, and C. We have 10,000 units for A, 13,000 for B, and 17,000 for C. So 10,000, 13,000, and 17,000. So in total we have 40,000 units. Now we will calculate their proportion. Proportion means percentage. This 10,000 units is divided by 40,000. It means out of total sales, 25% or 0.25% is the proportion of A. Second one, 13,000 divided by 40,000. It is 0.325. Third one is 17,000 divided by 40,000. It is 0.425. This is what? This is the proportion of sales units. Now we can divide this total break-even point revenue into these proportions to calculate break-even point revenue for A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Total break-even point revenue is 314,138 and A has the proportion of 25%. Here 314,138 into 0.325. Here 314,138 into 0.425 into what? Into 314,138. It is 133,509. Next one is 314,138 into 0.325. 102,095. Then 314,138 into 0.25. It is 78,534. So this is what? This is break even point revenue for each product. Now we have divided the total break even point revenue of the company into three products by using their sales units proportion. Next is to calculate what? Next is to calculate break even point units for each product. Now, how can we calculate break-even point units for each product? We are provided or we assume selling price for each product per unit for each product. So we can divide our revenue with the selling price per unit. Suppose for product A, we assume selling price of 20, for B 18 and for C 15. So we can use these selling prices to convert revenue into break-even point units. This 78,534 is divided by $20. This 102095 is divided by $18. This 133,509 is divided by $15. So you can calculate your units. 78,534 divided by 20, it is 3927. Next one is 102,29095 divided by 18. It is 5672 units. It is 8871 units. So this is what these are the break-even point units in the multi-product situation. So this is the way to calculate break-even point revenue of the whole company. Then how to convert this break-even point revenue into break-even point revenue of each product. Then how to convert this break-even point revenue into break-even point units. Next technical point is how to draw the profit volume chart. It is tricky or technical with respect to multi-product CVP analysis. Although you are not required to prepare the chart, but it is expected that you will be asked to calculate values or comment. So now we will do multi-product CVP analysis, rather than I would say multi-product profit volume chart. Profit volume chart. Okay. Its step number one is contribution to sales ratio for each product. We have already calculated total contribution and total revenue for each product. So we will use this data. Total contribution for A is 80,000, for B is 130,000 and 119,000. And revenue is 200, 234 and 255. So we will separately calculate CS ratio of each product. Here we have a contribution of 80,000 divided by a total revenue of 200,000. Either you multiply with the 100 to convert in percentage, or you can use decimals as well. Here we have, I think, 130,000 as total contribution and total revenue is 234,000. Here we have total contribution of, I think, 119,000 and revenue is to 55,000. Now, once again, let me check the values. Yes, we use the correct values. This is the step number one. Now we will calculate what is the CS ratio. For product A, it is 0.4, or if I multiply with the 100, it is 40%. For product B, 130,000 divided by 234,000, it is 0.55. Then 119,000 divided by 255,000, it is 0.466. Step 2 is what? Step 2 is ranking. This one is first in the ranking. This one is second in the ranking. This one is third in the ranking. So on the basis of ranking, now we will perform the step number 3. Step number 3 is to calculate profit or loss. Profit or loss. Before drawing profit volume chart, we are performing these 3 steps. It will start from fixed cost. In this scenario, we assume that our fixed cost is 150,000, which is negative. First product is the B, which is recovered 130,000 fixed cost from its contribution, but still we have negative 20,000. Second product is C, which earned 119,000 as a contribution. So now we have 99,000 as profit. And the third product is A, which earned contribution of 80,000. So now we have total contribution of 179,900. So or we can say that total profit of 179,000. If you want to verify either we calculated the correct profit or not, you have total contribution of 329,000. You have total fixed cost of 150,000. You can calculate profit otherwise to reconcile either your working was correct or incorrect. So if you deduct 150,000 from 329,000, I think answer will be same 179,000. So here we have what? We have profit of 179,000. Now on the basis of these values, we will prepare our profit volume chart. Profit volume chart is same under multi-product. Same is the way to calculate profit volume chart. So I will once again try to draw a straight line possible. Okay, I assume that this is the point. This one is the ending point. This one is origin. This one is the maximum. So the maximum here we will show what? Here we will show sales revenue. Sales revenue is what? Sales revenue is total sales revenue is 689,000. It is 100,000. So 100,000. This point is 200,000. This one is 300,000. This one is 400,000. This one is 500,000. 600,000 and 700,000 because maximum revenue is 689,000. Then here we will show what? Here we will show profit and here we will show loss. Profit is what? Profit is 179,000. So again, same 100,000 here, 100,000 here. We are showing suppose 100,000 profit here and 200,000 here. Here we will show the fixed cost, which means loss. So minus 100 here and minus 200 here. Because fixed cost is what? It is 150,000. Now how to start this graph? This will start from fixed cost. But we are saying that due to our Product B, it has loss of 150,000 has reduced to 20,000. And what is the revenue of the product B? It is 130,000. So this is the point we assume it is the point of 130, which is representing the revenue of B. It is the point of like minus 20,000 loss. So the loss started from here, from 150 negative. It has reduced to 20,000 in parallel to what? In parallel to revenue of 130,000. So this line will start from 150,000 negative and it is heading towards 20,000. From 150,000 it is heading to 20,000 loss, right? Then in the second attempt we are in profit by 99,000. But we will intersect with what? We will intersect with the break-even point revenue. And break-even point revenue is, I think, 314 something. So 314, 138. So here, this is the, suppose 314 break-even point. And after this break-even point, we have what? We have profit of 99,000. But when previous revenue of B was 130,000, sorry, revenue was 234,000. I would correct my this point. I have shown 130,000, which is basically contribution. Revenue of the product B was 234,000. So let me correct this for you. Assuming this is 234. Loss line is correct, 20,000. Starting from the same, but coming over here. This one is what? This one is 314, which is break-even point. Now we have what? We have a profit of 99,000. But when we sell product C and we earn the revenue of 255,000 from product B, so in total we have earned how much? In total we have earned 489,000 as revenue. So almost this is the point of 489 where we have almost this is the profit of 99. So the 99 and here we have 489. So we will start from this loss. We will intersect with this break-even point and this line is heading towards the profit of 99,000. At what revenue? At 489. This is what? This is break-even point. Lastly, we have product A, which contributed the revenue of 200,000. That's why we have a total revenue of 689,000. So this is the point almost of 689. And the total profit is 179. Almost this is the profit of 179. In parallel to what? In parallel to this revenue of 689. So it is the 179,000 profit. So it is showing profit of 179,000. It is showing this is because of what? Product A. When we added product A, it is because of product C. And this loss has reduced from 150,000 to 20,000. It is because of product B. Because B has ranking first, C has second ranking, and the A has third ranking. So this is the way to calculate profit volume chart, right? For the multi-product. Any question? Okay. This line is almost a straight line by chance in this graph. Otherwise, this line is not the, normally it is not the straight line. Normally we draw another line. I am drawing over here. we will draw two lines basically, or question will draw two lines, which is starting from the same 150,000, intersecting with 314, and directly heading towards the 179. So you can see the slight difference or curve between these two lines. First, you will follow this sequence and then you will draw the simple straight line which is relevant with the profit volume chart or multi-product CVP analysis. Right, everyone? Any questions?